the world-famous Texas Medical Center. It's also home to the largest academic green building in the Southwest. The UT School of Nursing and Student Community Center. This building has gone green by winning the gold, in LEED certification, that is. Catherine Calloway is one of the leading architects. Key green features were incorporated in the building, like this reclaimed brick.
The brick has a really fun story. It was actually came from a warehouse, an 18th century warehouse that was taken apart in East Texas and brick by brick brought over here.
There's also a story behind the wood siding from salvaged cypress.
It was dredged up from the bottom of rivers nearby where in the logging process, as some of the logs fell to the bottom, they sat there for 100 years and actually got stronger as they sat in the water. And so now it's a very durable and long-lasting building material.
Catherine took me up 8 stories where 3 atria encircle a glorious glass design.
So this building has a lot to do with how it works with the sun and both allowing the daylight in, such as here in one of these atria, where the daylight gets filtered in by the shades, but also goes deep into the office spaces with the glass walls that we've provided. But at the same time, there are a number of strategies that we use to mitigate the heat that comes in with the sun. Because we like the daylight, but we don't want the heat.
These panels, what do they do?
Right, so that's a frosted glass, and they are at a specific angle that allows the light to filter through, but also reflects light and heat back out to help keep the area well lit, but again, protect against that heat that comes in with the sun.
The entire building is 195,000 square feet and is adjacent to Fay Park. How'd you manage to have a park in the medical center?
Right, well, this is actually one of the last remaining parks at the medical center. And so the building is pushed to the street corner as much as possible without encroaching on the park.
So this space will always be a park?
That's the story, that the land, when it was donated by the family that used to live here years ago, that it must stay a park and that the students will have access to this land and the beauty of the nature there.
You mentioned the envelope of the building, and I'm looking up at what looks like wind sails.
Right, these are, we call them sails. They're fabric based and they are both vertical and horizontal. So that combination on this east elevation protects from direct sunlight.
A green roof thrives with native plants and grasses. So this roof acts almost as a cooling agent for parts of the building.
It does. It acts sort of as an insulation. It protects the ceiling, the roof, from the heat of the sun directly hitting it.
Because the plants are low maintenance, they require very little water. And as for the landscape on the grounds,
we have the cisterns right over here that collect almost 800,000 gallons of water that's used for both landscape irrigation and for flushing toilets.
Each cistern collects over 30,000 gallons of rainwater, so it saves on the amount of water the school needs to draw from the city municipal supply, providing a free resource, compliments of Mother Nature. The building is filled with recycled materials at almost every step.
This carpet is, you can see it's in tiles, but it also has some recycled content. It is low emitting so that it's a healthier material, as well as these panels here. They're made from a wheat board, which is the waste from a wheat manufacturing process.
It shows that you can really use recycled materials, you can go green, and it can still be pleasing to the eye.
Exactly. It doesn't have to look weird or strange, it can look beautiful.
For the teaching and office spaces, the building utilizes energy efficiency.
One of the ways that we help cool the building is through the floor here. We have every floor has a raised access floor, and what that means is the air conditioning actually is fed through the floor and comes up through these vents. It uses less energy than a traditional system. Instead of forcing the cold air down through the hot air that rises to the top, the air from the floor just can come up at the natural temperature that we want to feel.
And if you ever want to recycle your old jeans.
So here we have the denim insulation, which is actually throughout the walls of the building, but we have it exposed here to show you that It is made of the waste from a denim manufacturing, and when they cut up the blue jeans, and they use the straps to make this insulation.
At the bottom of the atrium, a beautiful cork floor.
It's from the cork tree, so it's the bark of the tree. It's considered rapidly renewable.
In the 200-seat auditorium, you can clearly see the use of natural light.
Making that connection to the natural environment is so important with the studies that have shown how effective daylight can be. And so even in this auditorium, which is typically a dark box that you want to close off, we allowed for some windows and allowing that natural light in. They do have shades that the teacher can pull down if they feel like there's too much light coming in. But even today, they've got a projector going on and still the daylight can come in.
Because of the green strategies, the UT School of Nursing has a 41% reduction in energy consumption, a 63% reduction in water use. Throughout the building, there's a connection to our natural environment, and that's what Going Green is all about. Coming up, Going Green with the salt of the earth. Here's another Green on Green tip. Request e-tickets for your next trip. They can be printed in black and white ink on recycled paper.